Poop, 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 poopity pee. Peepity poo, pee poopity peep pee pee. Pee pee poo poo poo, poo poo pee pee pee. Pee poo, pee poo, pee poop. I just started drinking coffee again. I abstained from coffee for a long time because sometimes it just gives me anxiety and panic attacks and doesn't do anything for me. But I recently decided to have a cup of coffee like a week or two ago, and it went well. So I just continued to keep drinking it, which could or could not be a bad thing. Today I'm gonna sharpen my knives, and I figured I'll do one on camera. Not very good at it. It's one of those things that I during COVID lockdowns, I got really into on YouTube, watching videos of people sharpening knives and blades and axes and making knives and blades and axes. And so I said, fuck it, and ordered a whole sharpening kit. And then I realized it's a lot less relaxing to do as it was to watch. And then even since then, I've stopped watching the videos because it was like a brief moment in my life that I found that entertaining. But anyways, I picked up a new skill. Not very good at it, but good enough to not really want to pay someone else to do it if I can avoid it. Yeah, so let's see where we're at. Nothing. Barely cut. Yeah. This is that same knife that I almost dropped on my foot a while back, by the way. Yeah, also this video is going to be going out like a day late. I meant to film this the other day, but then I got in a car accident, and yeah, I've been dealing with that. Luckily, no one's hurt. A little bit of whiplash, but that's fine. So yeah, this is my little setup. I got this thing holds the whetstone in place. I got my two different whetstones, and this is a flattening stone. So the first thing you're supposed to do before you start sharpening is to flatten your whetstones. Make sure that there's no high or low spots on it. So the way you do that is, so this is my 200 and 1000 grit stone. I only really use the 1000. You can see how much I've used of it. And so what you do is you mark it with the pencil. Also, these have been soaking in water for like 20 minutes or so. They say an hour, but I soak it until they stop bubbling a lot, and it's fine, I think, but I'm no expert, so who knows. But yeah, and anyways, to flatten it, I always saw like you mark it in a grid with a pencil, and then you take your flattening stone here, and you just flatten her out until the marks are all gone. See how quickly that's going. So I've got my 1000, and then I've got my 3000 and my 8000 that I'll flatten out. It's almost there. You got to keep everything moist for lubrication. And you know, I'm still not sure like what side of this flattening stone I'm like supposed to use for which stones. That was never really made clear to me. I use the really rough side to knock down faster, and then I'll use this smoother side to like finish up. I don't know if that's the right thing or not, but it's what I do. And you can see I've now gone through all my marks, so that is a flat stone. Flat enough, I suppose. Here's my 3,000 and my 8,000. So close. Alright, we'll call that good enough. Now we're done with the flattening stone. I can just rinse this guy off. And put him back in his box. Still hot. How's that sound? You like that? I know I would hate it. I hate the sound of people chewing and slurping and eating things. It drives me absolutely bonkers. Alright, so I'm going to get my 1,000 grit in here. I don't really use the 200 very much, or the 220, I guess. As I understand it, that's really more for when you got a really messed up edge and you gotta redo the edge completely. Now, this is something that I don't usually do, but I've seen it enough times, and I'll try it today. But take a marker along your blade edge, and it kind of acts as a guide. Man, I'm doing terrible on this side. But it'll act as a guide, kind of the same way as that grid does on your stones before you flatten them. The marker on the edge will act as a guide. See if you can see that. You can see that black line. So that's supposed to act as a guide to show you if you're hitting your edge properly. So you got to keep your stone nice and wet, and then it always takes me a bit to like get into the motions and the swing of this, but you get your blade on here, and you have to get it at like a 15-degree angle is what they say, somewhere around a 15-degree angle. One video I've watched used the example of if you have two pennies stacked on top of each other and then set your blade down, that is about the angle that you want. So it's really not much angle at all. And so you get your angle, and I've gone back and forth on how I do this. I'm not decided on how I like to do it. I've done it in sections, or I've also gotten into the habit of doing my full length of my edge, which I'm going to try to do today. We'll see if I can manage. And so get your stone wet, you find your angle, and you use your fingers on top to create pressure. And as you come back, you want pressure. And then as you go forward, you kind of release that pressure. And you just kind of have to get into a motion. And we'll see if I can do that today. Pressure, no pressure. Pressure, no pressure. And I think my angle might be too high. And it's not like extreme pressure either. Just checking my angle. But you can see I'm not doing too bad. You can see I've gotten most of that marker off now. So I'm doing alright, except for at the tip, and I'm not very good on the tips. Just the tip. There we go. So I'll just do that a handful of times on the one side, and then we'll flip. Oop, don't want that to happen. We'll flip to the other side. And I'm not very good at this very back side either. And you should be able to feel a burr forming. It'll be kind of smooth, feeling one direction, and then it'll kind of catch on the other direction. So let's flip to the other side. The other side can be kind of tricky. But same idea. Pressure, no pressure. Pressure, no pressure. Looks like I've gotten all my marks on that side. And you pretty much just do this. So I'll make a few passes on each side with my 1000. Then I'll switch to the 3000. And then the 8000 just to polish it up. And we'll see how it goes. Okay, so we're on the 8000 grit now. I just did a handful of passes on the 1000 and 3000. So I'll just do a few quick passes on here. This is not going to be my best work, but be better than dull knives. I just don't feel like doing this very much today. Not gonna lie. But we're looking pretty decent and polished. Feeling sharper. Let's see how we did. Much better. Still, like I said, I'm not the best at this, but it's a little bit better, you know? And that's all we can ask for. I'm not going to be risking my phalanges when I'm cutting produce now. That's really what this is all about, is not risking your phalanges. Don't risk your phalanges. Use sharp tools. Dull knives are more dangerous than sharp knives in the kitchen. That's a fact. I'm MeesterHead. Please like, subscribe, and comment down below. I don't know what I want you to comment about, but just, I don't know, start a comment fight. Start a fight in the comments. It'd be cool. I'll read that. I'll join in. Let's just have a brawl. Comment brawl. All right. I'll see you next week.